in. All right, here we go with fireworks. We're coming up on pretty soon Memorial Day. This is a big month. You know, tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo. Then we have Mother's Day next Sunday. Then we go with Memorial Day. Then we go over to Father's Day. Then you have June graduations. You got all kinds of occasions for fireworks. My dad and my brothers used to set up fireworks at the house. They did a lot of blowing things up that shouldn't have been blown up, but it was always a lot of fun to participate or watch from a distance. All right, I called them fireworks because they look like little explosions of light. They are fabulous. I loved these. The second we did them, I knew they were going to be great. They come in silver or gold, extra large post on the back to make sure it's easy for you to handle. When I say post, I mean the clutch on the back, the larger nut there that holds it on. Now these, I'm going to give you a measurement. They're not, and I'm wearing them. They're not huge. The intention wasn't to make a big, huge earring. The intention was to make something that's truly different, very artistic, and super interesting and eye-catching. These run 1/2 inch from top to bottom. And let's sort of dissect what you're looking at. Right here in the center is one simple, beautiful center stone. Then surrounding it are 10 little stones haloing the center stone. And then we do the offshoots of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little sparklers. So that is how the earring is made. And there is a left and a right. You wear them so that the sparklers shoot away from your ears, away from your face. Now, there's no law. You could reverse them, but I happen to have designed them so that you would wear the post in the ear and then have the shoot coming off. So if you want to see them on, you'll get a better sense of scale and what they look like. But they shine. They're so different. And Penny just wrote earlier on Facebook, she has somewhere to go. She thinks these would be ideal. Anywhere you're going, they are ideal. They're just so cool. They're fun, they're different, they're definitely creative. It looks like something you might have found at an art show. If you ever go to these, we have the Philadelphia, every November, the Philadelphia magnificent art show where you have people who make knitted goods, you have people who make artwork, then you have people who do really fabulous jewelry. And I go through those shows and I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are so creative. This is so beautiful, but it's $10,000. Oh, those earrings are so pretty, but they're $3,500. That's not to say somebody doesn't buy them, but I don't. But I loved the idea of something that would have an offshoot, something that would have these spokes, these exciting little pieces with round stones on them. You really can get a sense of, when I turn this sideways, of the setting. See the halo? Sorry guys, I'm messing your camera work up here. See the halo, the stones that go around the center stone? And then when I turn it back, it's just this full explosion of beautiful lights. Now this could also be beautiful in colors. Maybe down the road, we will come up with something that has some color to it, like a series of sapphire blue and amethyst and pale blue or something. It would be nice maybe to do the explosions in colors. But this one is done all just for the look of diamonds. They are so, so pretty. My mother left a lot of rings for me that they weren't rings that she loved. She just had them over the years. You know, she went somewhere and she fell in love with something, and then when she got home, it was like, well, it's nice. She wore it a few times, and then it kind of sat in the jewelry box. So she left me a lot of rings that had little stones on them, little stones. And I didn't care for the rings either, but I wanted the stone. So I had someone take all the diamonds out, and I did something very similar to this, which is where the idea comes from. Mine were more of a puzzle shape. They're just free-form amoebas, and they have the stones in them. This one was more the offshoot, and then I had extra stones, and I made a disc with all her stones. So I really had a heyday, and all of her stuff's been reinvented. That's a lot of fun to do. If you have stones left over or something you don't wear, have it reset. But believe me, you're going to pay for the metal, and you're going to pay for the mountings, and you're going to pay for the work. Nothing is inexpensive when you rework an item. This is much better priced. I mean, $69.98. Most of my earrings are up in the hundreds. This is a very good price. They are fun. They certainly show up. They're different. They're going to get lots of compliments. And you could wear these anywhere. I mean, you could wear these, it doesn't matter. Yes, you can wear them dressed up, but you could also wear them for business, wear them if you are working somewhere like a hotel, you're working at a bar, you're working as a hostess, you're an accountant, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a physician's assistant, wherever you're going, if you wear earrings, these are just beautiful. They're so different, they're conversation pieces. I think they're very exciting, and I really had trouble coming up with a name. I sat there and I thought explosion, and I thought, no, I don't think explosion's a very friendly word in this day and age. And then I thought Sputnik, I don't know if you remember, I think Sputnik was the very first rocket that went up with a dog in it back in like 1960s when I was a kid. And I thought, nah, I don't think we want Sputnik. And then I just was thinking, I just kept thinking, what does it do? Well, it shoots out like fireworks. I'm like, all right, we got it. We got it. You know, I spend a fair amount of time naming these, and I can't repeat a name, and it gets tough. I'm looking at every magazine. I look at how designers describe their jewelry, and every once in a while they have a word I like, okay, and I write it down. I keep a whole list and a file of prospective names. So sometimes I get stumped, and other times it's very obvious. But this one took a little while, but I hope you like them. I think they are just fabulous. You are looking at a total number of stones here. The center stone plus 10 plus 8. So there's 19 stones per earring, 38 stones total, 1¼ carats. That's why it's very believable. It's not an 8-carat pair of earrings. It's not wildly over the top. That center stone is probably, maybe 40 points. I don't think it's even ½ carat. Then the stones surrounding it are great size, probably about 5 points each. And then you have the larger points, maybe 10 points in the firework spokes. So you have something that comes up to 1¼ carats total weight. So each earring is like 60 points, 62.5 points. So it's definitely believable, definitely different, very, I think, high-end, something you would see in a creative store, a store that definitely does their own. If you ever go down Fifth Avenue and you see some of the stores that are not the well-marketed ones, not the ones that you see, with the fancy boxes and the bows, but ones where the interesting craftspeople get a chance to showcase their work. There's one store in particular that I think of that they're also in Rio de Janeiro, which is their home. They do this kind of one-of-a-kind jewelry. So these are J446922 fireworks, silver or gold, and they run a ½ inch top to bottom. Silver, again, very popular. All righty, it is.